Everyone, good afternoon, sir. So this vlog is about prelim vlog that included the title An Introduction to the Philippines, historiography, history of the Philippines island, the Manunggal Jar, the Laguna Copper Lake, and of course, the last one is duties of the Katipunan. Going back, Introduction to the Philippines historiography. In history, it deals with the past events. A person write the history is that what we call historian. The purpose of this history is to examine and understand what went before. The practice of historical writing is called historiography. Traditionally, the method of doing historical research is came from different librarians and achievers. However, in modern historical writing, are not only include examination but also the use of research that are related to the areas of study such as archaeology and geography. To be continued, there are diverse sources of the history including the documents, oral and video, archaeological records, and these are the most that we use to find the evidence or the documents. In the 20th century and until now, memoirs or personal accounts written by the important historical personage constitute and the other type of documents. We have the president in the Philippines who wrote their memoirs like Emilio Aguinaldo, Manuel Quezon, and Diosdado Macapagal. They wrote also their rules as nation builders. On the other hand, archaeological records refers to the preserved humans being activities under environmental where they live. Moreover, archaeological records is generally categorized as the fossils. Fossil, which means remains of animals, plants, and other plants that distant past, while the artifacts or remnants of the material cultural developed by humans being. That include farm implements, pottery, and etc. Most of all about historical today are so reliant on documents resources. Knowing about the historical is important because we can gain knowledge about the past, which we can apply it in our real life experience. The next topic is about history of the Philippines Islands. History of the Philippines Island is original by the Antonio de Morga. The Philippines takes its name from Philip, who king of Spain during the Spanish colonization of the island in the 16th century. Because it was under of the Spanish rule of 333 years and under of the USA further 48 years. The Philippines has many cultures and fights. The Philippines has many cultural affinities. The history of the Philippines between 900 and 1565 begins with the creation of the Laguna Copper Lake inscription in 900 and ends with the Spanish colonization in 1565. Studying history allows us to gain valuable perspective on the problems of our modern society. There is many problems, features, and characteristics of modern Philippine society. Here are the importance about the Philippines history. In 1542, Spanish expedition claims the islands and names them the Philippines after the hero of the Spanish throne in 1872. Execution of Gomborza, and through the history we can learn how past society, system, cultures, and technology were built. The rich history of the world help us to paint a detailed picture where we stand today. Moreover, history of the study of past events leading up to the present day. It is a research, a narrative, or an account of past events and developed that are commonly related to a person, an institute, or a place. For the third one is the Manunggal Jar. The Manunggal Jar is a secondary burial jar excavated from a Neolithic burial site in Manunggal Caves at Tabon at Lipunan Point at Palawan dating from 890 to 710 BC. BC, which means before Christ. The two prominent figures at the top of handle of its cover represent the journey of the soul to the afterlife. Our ancestors believed that man is composed of the body, the life force called the ginhawa, and the kaluluwa. The kaluluwa after death can return to earth to exist in nature to guide their descendants. That's the manunggal jar composed the three features, which is soul, the boat driver, and the boat itself. The manunggal jar was discovered by late 1960 and it dated by the New Stone Age. I think it's already 100 of years. The manunggal jar also depicted as the Filipino values of respect for one's souls, nationalism, and faith. Additionally, the jar served as living reminder of the Philippines' rich history and culture since its existence during the late Neolithic period. Why we need to know the importance of manunggal jar? It is because manunggal jar was a symbol of the National Museum of Manunggal Jar. National Museum important role in the spearheading the preservation of the culture heritage pamana using multidisciplinary techniques. For the principles of Manunggal Jar shows that the Filipino maritime culture is paramount, that it reflected its ancestral religious belief. The Manunggal Jar will tell us of how the importance the waters to our ancestors. According to Peter B. Wood, the Southeast Asian first developed the sophisticated maritime culture which made spread of the Austronesian speaking people to the Pacific island. Next, the Laguna Copper Plate. The Laguna Copper Plate inscripted is an official document inscribed in the Shaka year 822. It is the earliest known calendar dated documents found within the Philippines island. The earliest known evidence of written literature in the history of the Philippines, the Laguna Copper Plate inscription is a sheet of copper metal with ancient writing discovered of the province of Laguna in 1989. In the 1994, Hector Santos wrote the Laguna Copper Plate. The characteristics of Laguna Copper Plate is a thin piece of copper sheet measuring about 20 times 20 cm with 7.9x times 7.9 inches, which was discovered around 1987. It has been reported that this artifact was found during rigging activities mechanical conveyor in the Lombang River, which is situated in the province of the Laguna. During in 10th century, the number of political entities of existence in South Asia. This is one of the famous of the Khmer Empire dominated the Southeast Asian mainland. The Laguna Copper Lake is the name of inscription written of artifact that has a great significance for the understanding of history of the Philippines at the 10th century AD. In this time, many scholars believe that the area was isolated from the South Asia. For the last one topic, it's all about duties of the Katipunan. In 1982, Filipino interested in the overthrow of Spanish rule founded an organization following Masonic rites in Philippines to organize armed resistance and theories association with the context of total secrecy. It is operated as an alternative Filipino government complete with the president and cabinet. The Katipunan serve as a knowing call of the Filipinos to fight for their freedom. The Katipunan has three principles, which is political, moral, and civic. Andres Bonifacio is the leader of the Katipunan. He died on May 10, 1897, Mount Bonits, Philippines. He is the founder and leader of the Nationalists of Katipunan in Society, who instigated the revolt of August 1896 against the Spanish. All through during the lifetime of Bonifacio, this dialogo today well known, printed in school books and inscribed monuments. The format in which Bonifacio sets out the duties of KKK members obviously derives from the Old Testament, and it contained the echo, the Programma Masonica. So these five that I will tackle is about the